Hey, Beau, why do people perceive the COVID tests as unreliable?
So it's a really good question. Can we trust our perception of the COVID tests? And obviously the answer has a huge impact on the perceptions of many millions of people around the world, especially when you have people like Elon Musk espousing views that create doubt about things that one might not need to doubt. The answer, like so many things, is yes and no. And you might not like that answer and say, that's what science and scientists always say. And that is true because it's actually not a description of science, it's a description of life. Life is contextual, probabilistic. Your whole life, every decision you make, in fact, every perception you have is predicated on probabilities, not on absolutes. So can we trust the COVID test? The answer in general is yes if it's positive and less so if it's negative. It has to do with thresholds. So why? Well, instead of going into the details of how the COVID tests work involving antigens and RNA amplification, I'm going to use a metaphor for why it makes sense that your perceptions of tests should be asymmetrical. So why can you trust a positive result while also being skeptical of a negative one? And I'm going to use a metaphor because metaphors are super important for the brain when trying to understand something that might be new to it. Imagine you're a child playing hide and seek with a friend, and the location is sort of a neighborhood. Maybe they're on a street with 4 houses, and each house is large. It has multiple floors and lots of rooms full of furniture. Now, also imagine you only have 1 minute to find them. So what do? So your friend's hidden, and now you have to find them. So the first thing is you have to select one of the 4 houses. Okay, and you open the door, the clock's ticking, you start looking for your friend. Now, it's possible that despite the size of the house and all the different hiding places that it might afford, that within 60 seconds you actually find the person. Maybe they were hiding right next to the entrance, or they happened to be in the first room we walked into, or maybe their phone rings and use that to find them. Either way, when you see them, you can be sure that they are there in the house. After all, you just actually saw them. And this is like a positive COVID test. When the test finds the virus hiding in one of your organs, you can be confident that it's there. But now imagine instead that after 60 seconds, you didn't find your friend. Now you're asked the same question. Are they in the house? Well, how confident can you be about your answer? Can you be sure that after only 60 seconds, they're not in the house? I mean, the answer is no, since maybe they were hiding a room that you didn't have a chance to look, or maybe they weren't even in the house altogether. They were in a different one. This is like a negative COVID test. And the difference between a rapid COVID test and a PCR COVID test is effectively the amount of time one gets to search the houses. The more time one takes, in other words, the more efficient the test, the more confident you can be about a negative result. But this is just biology and science. It's also just life. No conspiracies are required for an explanation of Musk's results. When we get a negative result on any experiment, or indeed on almost everything in life, it can be very difficult to know what went wrong, since there are just lots and lots of ways to fail, and far fewer ways to succeed. Most things have a rational explanation. Sometimes the explanation is just, I don't know yet. But that doesn't mean we stop trusting the process. Science is very much okay with not knowing. In fact, that's what we love about it. Not knowing is better than coming up with irrational explanations that give us a false sense of certainty that is really about just confirming an opinion you might already have. So trust the truth.